Hi everybody, my name is Aura. I'm a citizen of the Métis Nation, and today I'm pleased to be talking to you from the unceded traditional territory of the Coast Salish people, where I'm a guest. I want to share with you some of my favorite things about being outside in nature. First of all, we're going to talk about the word botany. The word botany is the study of plants, and I have some favorite plants, as I'm sure you do too. And you probably already know that plants come in all shapes and sizes, from the very small to the very tall. Right behind me where I'm sitting is a plant. Right here. Did you know that trees are plants too? I have some favorite trees that I like to visit and spend time with. Do you have a favorite tree that you like too? Maybe one that you climb, or one that you sit in the shade under. So this tree is a western red cedar. What I find most interesting about trees is the part that we can't see. Can you guess what part that is? If you guessed the roots, you're right. So I want you to imagine that you are a tree. And you can close your eyes if you would like. Imagine you are a tree. How would you eat? If you were a tree, instead of using your mouth, you would use your roots to eat. You would use your roots to eat the nutrients in the soil. And then you're going to turn those nutrients into energy using the sun. That's not the most amazing thing about trees and their roots. Scientists are now just starting to discover that trees actually use their root system to communicate with one another. Sometimes this is referred to as the wood wide web. And they call it that because it's really similar to how we communicate with each other on the internet. So the roots underneath the ground will talk to other trees around them. And how they do that is by sending them messages about things that are happening in the forest. So sometimes it's about things that are dangerous, and sometimes it's even more cool, like a big mother tree that sends extra nutrients and information to the smaller seedlings that are in the forest floor. They might not be getting enough sun, and it gets extra nutrients that way, or it's letting them know that there might be a dangerous fungi that they should be careful of, and how to boost up their immune system to care for themselves. So really, trees are just like a community, like you and me.
Now I want to show you another one of my favorite trees. And we're not going to get too close to this tree because we want to protect its root system, because it's a very old tree. Ready? This tree is a western red cedar. And this tree is 750 years old.
If you thought that last tree was incredible, wait till you see this one. This tree is 900 years old.
It's also very likely that this tree is the mother tree to a lot of the cedars that are in this forest. About 100 years ago, this forest was clear-cut, and this was one of the very last trees that was left behind, maybe because it was too big. We're not really sure why it was left. But at already 100 years ago, it's probably most likely the seed cones that have really re-established the cedars in this forest. So you can think of it like a mother tree. Now that we've had a chance to visit some of my very favorite tall plants, next I'm going to show you another favorite plant, but this one is really small. This is called plantain. Why I like this plant is because most people consider it a weed, but it's really a clever little plant that you can use for food and medicine. What's great about this plant is you can pick it in almost any season in all kinds of places. We're finding it today in our yard. You can also find it in meadows, and sides of forest trails or even cracks in the sidewalks. This is my daughter Hunter, and she's helping me today. Just like the leafy greens that we eat in salad, these leaves are packed with iron and calcium and other important vitamins. Sometimes it's referred to as broadleaf or greater plantain. My parents' generation and grandparents' generations called it ribwort. And that's probably because of how we can identify it at the back. Its veins look like little ribs. This is the best way to identify to make sure that you have the right plant. When I flip it over, you can see the strings are almost like celery strings. The most common way to use this plant as medicine is for things like bites and stings. And the best way to do that is to take some larger mature leaves and bruise them up, mash them together, and then put it directly on either a mosquito bite or a bee sting, or maybe even a rash from stinging nettle. The anti-inflammatory properties of this plant will then take away that sting.
I'm really excited that we got to spend some time together while I talked about some of my favorite plants. I hope this inspires you when you go outside to look around and maybe discover some plants that you hadn't thought about before. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you for joining me, and I hope that we see each other soon.